Where the fireflies grow. The stiff breeze lifted a strand of hair from her forehead, small sweat droplets causing the other strands to stick profusely to her skin. The sun glared high overhead as she stood there waiting on Tara. Ever since the two girls had turned 16, Tara had been obsessed with her appearance, refusing to so much as walk outside to get the mail without looking flawless. Emily sighed with relief as she saw her best friend's front door open briefly and close, Tara emerging between the hedges that flanked the sidewalk as if she was on the red carpet. She appeared smug, her hazel eyes slitted against the unforgiving summer rays. She joined Emily on the sidewalk and the two started walking in the direction of the mall. Emily glanced sideways at Tara, taking in the chosen outfit she had worn. Her favorite pair of jeans with the holes in the knees and several small ones scattered over her legs, a faded denim blue from too many washings, and a low-cut top that was a pretty pink color and had sleeves that bared her shoulders. Small freckles scattered Tara's tan skin, barely noticeable, but Emily knew each one from watching Tara since they were 5. A solid oof flew out of Emily's mouth as she tripped over a tree root that had grown through a crack in the concrete, sending her halfway to the ground as she flailed her arms for balance, Tara's hands grabbing her arms to steady her. Emily could feel the heat creep into her cheeks as she tried to brush off the accident. "Watch where you're going there, Em. You could have hit your head, or even worse," she gasped dramatically, "you could have knocked your teeth out, and then what would you do?" Tara wobbled on an invisible can as she tucked her lips over her pearlescent teeth as she mimicked an old lady. Emily playfully shoved her, knocking her off balance. Tara gracefully fell into the grass on her back as she laughed loudly, which was cut off suddenly as Emily landed on Tara's stomach. She rolled to the side, laying on her back next to Tara as they both caught their breath. Emily chanced another look at her best friend, blushing slightly as she felt tiny butterfly wings in her stomach. Tara glanced over and Emily quickly turned her head. Unbeknownst to Emily, Tara had a soft smile on her face. She'd known for a couple years now that Emily had a crush on her, and she took extra delight in dressing cute and watching her eyes become saucer plates. Tara sat up, brushing the loose bits of dried grass off of her jeans and blouse. Emily reached over and pulled a bit out of her hair, her hand lingering in the soft waves. Tara thanked her and they rose off the ground. Soft taps echoed from their sneakers as they followed the familiar street signs. In what seemed like hours, the shopping center metropolis sprawled its bulky outer layers across the horizon. Black asphalt encircled the mammoth building, forming a parking lot in the front where people scurried like ants in and out of the mall's doors. "Come on, Emily, just a little farther. This heat is just draining me," says Tara as she made a faux fainting gesture. She wiped the beaded sweat from her eyes, her lips suddenly parched as she watched Tara's blouse dip dangerously low as she dipped backwards. "Quit playing around and let's go already," she said, quickly trying to cover the fact she was practically gawking at her friend. Emily caught the tiny flicker of a smirk that briefly flashed across her lips. Surprise suddenly lit up her eyes, but Tara had already begun to run ahead, hollering for Emily to race her. Emily sighed, her legs lengthening in stride as her feet pounded the sun-baked asphalt of the parking lot. Inside, the air conditioning hummed, much-needed cold air blew over them. "So where do we want to go first? JCPenney, Macy's, how about Spencer's? Ooh, I could use another cute bra like I got here last time, and maybe get you a cute skirt," said Tara as she poked Emily's stomach. "How about we get something to eat at the food court first? I'm starving." Tara's hazel eyes caught the mall's seemingly infinite lights, a kaleidoscope of gray and green specks scattered throughout the brown. Emily bit her lip, Tara's eyes her weakness, so beautiful and unique. Tara agreed to get food first and they headed up the escalator to the food court above. After Emily and Tara had finished eating, they decided on Spencer's, their stylish clothing perfect for the teens. Tara giggled as she gathered up some outfits and all but dragged Emily by her arm to the tiny fitting rooms. In one room they went before Emily could protest, a blush creeping up her neck and cheeks as the situation became quite tense for her. She tried to look away nonchalantly as Tara chatted on about this and that, her shirt and jeans coming off and left in the floor. The red caught Emily's eye and she looked over at Tara, who sported a tiny red lace bra and panties. Her mouth goes dry, like a mouthful of saltine crackers and no drink dry. Tara pulls a shirt over her, covering the seductive shade of red. So, what do you think, Emily? This one, or this one? She quickly tugs the shirt off and grabs the other. Emily wasn't sure exactly what occurred or really what to do next as she glanced down at her hand covering Tara's arm. She could feel her heart beating in her throat, nervousness radiating from Emily's tightly strung body. She found her hand traveling upwards at a leisurely pace, Emily's eyes finding Tara's. Was that excitement causing her eyes to sparkle like crystal? Emily could feel the rapid pounding of Tara's heart as her hand slid over her chest and up to cup her jaw. Tara leaned in, her lips finding Emily's, melding together as Emily overcame the brief shock. They pulled apart, staring at each other, both afraid to be the first one to acknowledge what had taken place in that small space. Emily broke the silence as she told Tara how she loved her, as a friend and as someone she wanted to spend forever with. Remember when we were little and your brother was so mean to you? Every time he hit you, you would have me kiss each individual spot to make it feel better. The first few were innocent, but after that I enjoyed it. I loved kissing the different parts of you. You're beautiful, amazing, so funny and kind. I love you, Tara. You're my best friend, and I don't want anyone else but you. She held her breath as Tara took it in, then a full grin exploded on Tara's bemused face. I already knew all that, doer, Tara stated. Confused, Emily asks, then why did you never say anything about it? Tara giggled. Because, it's much more fun to tease you as much as I have been. Tara suddenly ducked as Emily playfully swung at her shoulder. Her still bare shoulder at that. Emily glanced down, Tara's rounded curves barely visible through the lacy material. She reluctantly dragged her eyes away and grabbed Tara's original blouse and handed it to her, which she tugged on quickly. Tara watched Emily's back as she turned away from her. Small butterflies raced inside her stomach as she encircled her arms around Emily's torso and laid her head on her shoulder. Emily caught a very faint whisper in her ear. I love you, Emily, only you, and no one else. Emily jumped inside, her heart feeling as if it was going to explode with the happiness she felt. She hugged Tara close and kissed her. Emily pulled out her phone and glanced at the time, realizing it was getting late and suggested they walk home. Tara opened the fitting room door, feeling as if she had entered it as someone entirely different to the Tara she was now. The sunset glinted off of the mall's main glass doors as Emily opened and held the door for Tara. Their hands touched as they walked close to each other, and without a word, their hands closed around each other's as they walked home, both in love with their best friend. In the neighborhood yards they passed, tiny flickers of light darted around as the Fireflies prepared for the night, ready to search for their partner so that more Fireflies could be born and grow there. Life was simple and amazing for the two teenaged girls who found love where the Fireflies grew in their own backyards.